I've been overloaded with a crushing amount of work to put off on a deaf man who's elderly, is not being paid, lives below the poverty line, and now suffers Parkinson's. But I guess, and without reluctance, I have to make Mackenzie Shirilla a permanent fixture in my work concerning Lennon's Houdini. So rather than postpone the inevitable, let's cut to the chase. It's a burden because any sign of cooperation can be used to prolong her hostage. She comes up for parole under current terms in 15 years. During the next 15 years, the New World Order is going to make a major play. So let's talk a little bit about how the New World Order got started. It got started when Bush and his Nazi crowd blasted into the Middle East after blasting us on 911, after releasing AIDS to try to make as many enemies as they possibly could while they flushed gun markets throughout the world. So everyone was armed to the teeth for Storm and Norman, ISIS cake, free for all. They called two virgins pussy bomb. Putin was in on it. Now he's taking charge with Kim in some areas that they can notoriously consider France and America colonialists. And America is standing up for the American Library Association supportedly. But the spirit world is an occupied zone. Well, they have people cackling from the Green Party. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Look at them shooting themselves in the foot because they think they're going to win, militarily. So they want to see America reduced to a great confessional. Breastfeeding. We are so sorry. We took on this noble thing with King and the anti-colonialists, and they laughed. Go ahead, sit in the puddle and sing us that song, little queer rates we call America, and so on. I mean, even Ruth Van Giat, the way they're crushing anything in the middle. That's the way they put it together. Chomsky and Hitler Reagan were in cahoots all along. Crush anything they have Ruth Van Giat, oh, don't talk about the autocrats are ground dictators, and stand up for the poor who are being massacred in the name of a military draft that was instituted by the neocons in Washington, D.C. They call Ukraine. Ha, 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 ha. The spirit world is completely an occupied zone. So what happened was that the Board of Corrections, which is the cutting edge of the New World Order, the prison system is the cutting edge of the prison system wants to take over the world, while a couple of ostrich riders are on, the lark of Mar-a-Lago and so on. In their velvet limousine trains, transcontinental stuff, and the weepers of the world will unite behind one side or the other, and then they'll make peace after they've done enough of their depopulating measures and so on. You get the idea. Well, the Board of Corrections basically released LSD so that they could have something to test for, to prove the traitors when they released AIDS, to cleanse society of the traitors in the name of purifying us over abortion. And Mount Desert Island proved this fact. After he died, the newspapers leaked the Bernard Widemaker. He made the LSD that was neurohypnotic and induced a terrible Holocaust survivor simulation that they call hiding something. A terrible trauma. Don't say like Aunt Frank, they bark at you. I mean, they're sick people. And there's an extreme situation in a child's mind. Bernard Widemaker, who manufactured this nerve agent, which he got some local pushers and hustlers to put on Mackenzie as he did little Jimmy, the type of thing that the Green Party does routinely, hustling. and secreted in this special enzyme that completely blew. I mean, you could see from what she said, she thought she was Supergirl for surviving. But in the documents, you see it was clearly carefully measured to nearly kill the child. She was just a child. These sickos took her for 15 years because Penis Gabriel wants to interrogate me about being 15 years old. I mean, he's a sick, evil person who put this together. And Mackenzie Shirilla was taken hostage, and they're supposed to see the hybrid synergy. American detectives don't exist. American intelligence is a contradiction in terms. But New World Order, Red Scare psychopaths are comprehensive. I mean, Clint Eastwood has, radiators that test every blink. He really does. He's really psychopathic and obsessed with making sure that people don't realize he was in on the hit on Kennedy. And the Boston letters. Well, what make her pull what they did? I mean, you have these people like Clint Eastwood interfering in Strongsville to poach and take hostage a girl so they can say 15 years. What happened when you're 15 years old? And the way they want to play it is that she makes her excuse through LSD control. The way they did it with me was a little more sadistic in a way. Well, it wasn't more sadistic. I mean, it's obviously more horrible what's being done to me. But they had the same edge of sadism. What I mean to say is it's more three-dimensional chess. And what they did was my alibi of the nerve agent was because I barked at Leslie Katz. They had this girl called Chinny living near her who was deaf, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. And Lennon has a stripe down his chin like this, right? In How I Won the War. And Leslie rubbed her virginity in my mouth night after night for a year, and I let her go. I didn't force myself on her. She was a coy mistress, as they say in the poem. But I barked at her, "You're suggesting I should have raped you." And they were like, aha. So you were a rapist who could have saved John Lennon, right? So what they want to do is run it by Mackenzie someday. They'll say, Mackenzie, do you want to be with the guy who could have saved John Lennon? She'll say, and they'll say, good girl, we might let you go in 15 years. That's what they're pulling. So, I mean, get used to it. They're sickos.